Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for the testimony. You can only get so much done in 4 minutes, so I'm not going to try to save the world in 4 minutes. But I did want to say, one, I'm very glad we're having this conversation as we're nationally discussing a lot of conversations right now. They seem to be solely focused on police reform, which is very important. But there are reforms in multiple institutions that we have to deal with to really get to the heart of the problem. And if we don't, we're going to miss the boat on this moment. So I'm glad that we're having these discussions. But thank you for the work, as was mentioned, that you've already been doing. It's more than, I think, the last administration, definitely the dialogue. But still, I think we're not doing enough. I think your own data says 68% are Black and Hispanic, 80% are eligible for lunch. And I know we said it's a national problem, but New York City should be leading the way. If 68% of the people are Black and Latino, 80% of the people are eligible for free lunch, then those are the people that we should be serving the most. Unfortunately, those are the people we are serving the least. And that's very unfortunate to me, so we have to. And then I have no problem saying that I'm concerned about everybody, particularly Black and Latino. We have a problem. We get nervous when we talk about the solution in terms of race, but we have no problem discussing the problem in terms of race. So I hear all the time about Black on Black crime and all the issues in those communities. But the minute we talk about solving those very same problems with solutions that include targeting race, everybody jumps up and down, which doesn't really make any sense to me. So I'm glad we're targeting this right now. And also, I graduated from Brooklyn Tech. It's hard to see, but I used to be a Black teenager. I also, single parent, I had Tourette's syndrome and ADHD. What concerns me, now I understand we have to get to the diversity, but some of the solutions that are being suggested, I don't know if gets to that. And because I look at some of the data with the multiple criteria, such as Townsend, Bard, Eleanor, Beacon, Lab School for Collaborative Studies, they are actually whiter and wealthier than some of the testing schools. And so it concerns me that we're not getting to the core of the problem, even if we use multiple criteria. In addition, a lot of that diversity is with the Asian population, which is good, but not with the Latino and Black population, particularly with the Latino population. And the Black population, unfortunately, or fortunately, is actually low on both, 9% on one, 6% on the other. And so my question is, entrance points, and by the way, I think you said all of the schools give quality education. That's probably not true. If it was true, we probably wouldn't be here because everybody would be getting quality education in any school that they went to. But my question is access points to the education because people learn and communicate what they learn differently. If I was trying to get into a multiple criteria school, I would not have got in because my grades were pretty bad. And I often had issues in the classroom. So the only thing that actually got me into these schools was testing. That was the only thing I was good at, testing, regents, and all the other stuff. I could test it, had good recall, and the answer was there in multiple choice. So that was very easy. So for me, does it make sense to have schools where people can use what they can do best? So not all of these specialized schools and not all of these gifted schools test in. Some are multiple criteria, some are testing. Does it make sense to have access to those 2 points? And why is the multiple criteria school still not yielding the kind of diversity that we would like to see?
It's a very interesting question, Council Member. I think there are a lot of things that contribute to how individual families rank and choose their schools based on student interest, based on family interest, based on geography and transportation corridors, based on academic quality of the schools, based on academic history of the student, based on interest in a specialized high school versus a non-specialized high school. So it is a very interesting question and something we'd be very interested in exploring with you.
Sound like you don't really know.
Why certain families are choosing specific schools?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we do understand that certain families individually value different things, and these are the outcomes of our conversations during workshops and during counseling sessions with families. But again, it's not a one-size-fits-all model. Individual families are choosing for themselves.
and my time is up, I know, but I had a second question which I didn't hear response. Does it make sense to have schools or multiple entrance points to the more quality education that have different things that test how you learn better? So some might be testing, some might be multiple criteria, some might be something else. Does that make sense?
I think looking at how schools weight their criteria and whether or not they can be flexible in that weighting is something that is definitely interesting to explore, but I think it is counterbalanced by how we are or attempt to be transparent with families about how schools are actually considering individual students to ensure that they understand fully what it is that the school is considering when they are considering that particular student.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I mean, it's definitely an issue. I know that actually Brooklyn Tech, where I went, is less diverse now than it was when I went. So that's definitely a problem that we have to address, and I want to make sure that we don't try to do quick fixes and get to the problem, but actually get to the core of the problem. So thank you very much.